Witam serdecznie w kolejnym odcineczku z kanału Juarez Gunslinger, gdzie lecimy dalej! Hej, w zasadzie walczyliśmy w 2 pojedynkach już, 2 misyjki skończone, lecimy dalej.
So where'd you go after Lincoln?
Mexico. Until I realized nobody was looking for me. I ended up taking a job at the Rurales.
The Mexican Rurales?
I was hired to help them track down the cowboys.
The most vicious outlaw gang in Cochise County? Curly Bill Brocious? Johnny Ringo?
Led by old man Clanton himself.
They must have paid you a pretty penny to take them hombres on.
Not really. But truth be told, I had my own reasons for going after those boys.
Kula dla starego. Świetna misja, świetna nazwa. Chyba nawet wiem, co tu się stanie na starcie. Kojarzę tą misję. Yeah.
So was the bastard you were after now riding with the cowboys?
Roscoe Bob Bryant was his name.
Oh.
But no, this time it was a different bastard I was after. The aforementioned Mr. Ringo. And yes, he was working for old man Clanton.
Where's he going?
I came
Wpadniemy
upon
tu w
them
zasadzkę.
robbing a stagecoach, which wasn't surprising, being they were such murderous thieves and bastards. The bandits wore red scarves, so I knew they worked for the old man.
Over there! There! ¿Quién carajo es ese hombre?
I did my best to help those poor passengers. Moments later, the attackers were dead, and I checked the stagecoach to see how many passengers were still breathing. None. It was then I wondered if the rocks weren't hiding more bandits. Was that all of them? Or did I just hit the rear guard? I quickly got my answer. They attacked from on high like Apaches often did. They would appear in great numbers from above and rain down lead on their hapless enemies' heads, making use of the high ground and whatever else they had. Yep, the Apaches always appeared out of nowhere, and there never seemed to be an end to them.
Hold on. Were you attacked by Apaches? What happened to the cowboys?
Did I say they were Apaches? I said Clanton's cowboys attacked me Apache style. I was in a pitched battle, but I was holding my own against an overwhelming enemy force. See, at the time, I was still pretty green, would often blunder into regrettable situations. But I just kept shooting at anything I could see up in those damn rocks. I didn't see Ringo, but I knew he was with the cowboys. He and Roscoe Bob had done me a dreadful wrong, and I was determined to have my revenge. But to get to Ringo, I knew I'd have to fight my way past these other assholes first.
A skąd pamiętam to miejsce? Skąd pamiętam to miejsce, jeżeli chcecie wiedzieć? Bo to była jedna z najtrudniejszych początków dla misji na najwyższym poziomie trudności, co przechodziłem.
Another perfect example of my relative inexperience as a hunter of men.
Fajnie to jest, że to jest taki storyteller, nie?
That a tactical retreat was called for, as my vengeful fury was much less impressive without the bullets to back it up. Finally, they managed to corner me. Trapped as I was, the odds of my survival seemed pretty slim. Luckily, serendipity was on my side as I suddenly spotted a way out of my predicament. Oh, he's getting away! I ran ahead as if the devil himself was after me. Bullets were whizzing by my ears, but I wasn't about to roll over and die. I just kept running like there was no tomorrow. Because there wouldn't be if Clanton and his men caught up with him. As I was scurrying around those caves, I thought, what was I thinking? Going up against a gang like this.
Ta, to była jedna z najtrudniejszych misji, pamiętam.
I just kept running, not knowing where the hell I was going.
I've got you now!
And that's when something miraculous happened. Like manna from heaven. I found the desiccated remains of what looked like an Apache warrior. The old weapon next to him supplied me with some much-needed ammunition. Bat Masterson once told me it was more important to be lucky than good, and he would know.
No i wracamy do akcji.
And imagine my surprise when I found a fistful of dynamite to go along with that ammo. That stroke of good fortune evened the odds and bolstered my confidence. It was time to turn the tables. Time for the prey to become the predator. Time for the hunted to become the hunter. Time.
All right, Jesus, we get it. They were right where you wanted them.
That's right, Jack. I was done running. And the old man's boys were not expecting that. No, sir. It was finally time for that old man to pay for his sins.
No właśnie. Tak, tutaj była niezła jazda, pamiętam, żeby nie dać się trafić.
I yelled out at the top of my lungs, Clanton, I'm coming for you! A little stealth might have made more sense, to be perfectly honest. Because that old fool had a Gatling gun and enough bullets to last him till kingdom come. But I knew I could not let that deter me. Not if I was to find and kill Ringo. I needed to get that old man off that gun.
Why are you so afraid to face me? Wait! God damn bugger! Best be moron! Yeah, well, stupid something! Oh!
Most everyone thought it was the Ruales who had come up against him in Guadalupe Canyon, but it was just me. Apparently, one of the cowboys made it out of there alive, and told Ike and Billy Clanton that it wasn't a Mexican who took their father's life that day. They just assumed it was one of the Earps, and that little misunderstanding eventually led to that legendary gunfight at the OK Corral.
Pięknie, żeśmy ich tam wystrzelali. Lecimy od razu dalej, nie będziemy przedłużać.
A few weeks after that dust-up at the OK Corral, I was still after Johnny Ringo. I had tracked him and the cowboys to their hideout at a sawmill, and they were loaded for bear.
So, what exactly did Johnny Ringo do to piss you off?
Well, him and that other bastard.
Roscoe Bob Bryant?
Yep. They both deserve to die, and I promise I'll tell you why.
Herb's coming!
Get ready, boys.
I think he's scared!
First, I need to tell you about the cowboys' new boss, Curly Bill Brocious.
Pissing me off!
Curly Bill took charge of the cowboys upon the old man's demise. And after that gunfight at the OK Corral, the Clantons wanted revenge. So they murdered Morgan Earp and grievously wounded his older brother, Virgil. Wyatt and Doc went on what became known as the Vendetta Ride, hunting those outlaws down. So when I showed up, that's who they thought I was.
With you.
Już nie wiedziałem, skąd do mnie strzelają, nie?
There were killers around every corner, all wearing red bandanas. That's how the cowboys identified each other. And I was beginning to wish I had one myself. But I wasn't about to let Ringo walk away unscathed. And that's what drove me forward.
They say that Ringo was infernally fast.
Hardly saw anyone faster, boy. Certainly not Wyatt Earp. That man was all hat and no cap.
Earp wasn't much of a match for him, but Doc Holliday might have taken him.
That Lunger should have kept his nose out of it. They never charged anyone for the murder of Morgan Earp.
But everybody knew that Curly shot him in the back. That was common knowledge.
Ciężko tu komentować, jak cały czas pytają i
What's
rozmawiają.
that, Dwight?
After old man Clanton died, why didn't his son take over the Cowboys?
Because Ike Clanton was dumber than a box of rocks and a yellow belly to boot. Now, where was I?
Taking down the entire cowboy gang single-handed.
Indeed I was, Jack. Though it wasn't easy, as those boys had good cover.
Akcji i akcji, nie? Cały czas coś się dzieje. Nie ma tutaj przerwy na pogadanie nawet z wami.
Blank him. You gonna need it. Death is too good for him. Waste your bullets.
There were carts everywhere, piles of lumber, and God knows what else for people to hide behind. That really was one hell of a sawmill. Quite an impressive operation.
And where was Curly Bill? Did you see him?
I'm about to get to that, Ben. Patience. I'm painting a picture here. There was this beautiful waterfall and a crystal clear stream that led to a verdant valley that was truly...
Consider your picture painted. What happened next?
Well, finally the bastards that were still alive made a last stand.
O, ładnie to jest, nie? Tak pięknie nawet bym powiedział. Piękne miejsce. Byleby nie spaść przypadkowo.
Curly Bill, Johnny Ringo, and his compadres took off into the lumber yard, and I followed after.
Are you saying they ran? Cowardice was not in Ringo nor Curly Bill's nature.
No, sir. I never said they were running scared. They just wanted me out in the open.
Time to dance with the devil. This ain't my day to die. You working for Wyatt Earp? Did that sumbitch Earp send you to kill me? Hope you like your case, brother.
Brocious gave me no choice but to take his life. But Ringo was nowhere to be found.
Ringo.
I knew you didn't kill Ringo, because he was found dead in a different location altogether.
To this day, his killer is still unknown.
Indeed. Took me a few months before I finally tracked his ass to West Turkey Creek Canyon.
Johnny Ringo.
That's incredible, sir. I always thought that Doc Holliday was the one that killed him.
Easy
Sorry
peasy.
I had to ruin the legend for you, boy. But the legend ain't always true. Doc
Kolejny
Holliday
poziom z
had
nami.
nothing to do with the death of Johnny Ringo.
Co, kontynuujemy, nie będziemy to przedłużać, znaczy będziemy przedłużać. Let's fucking go. Ta historia jest tak szybko opowiadana, że nie mam nawet czasu komentować
I
tego,
was
nie?
paid a healthy bounty for Ringo and Curly Bill, and realized there was real money to be made. That's why I went after Henry Plummer.
Now, wasn't he the sheriff who augmented his income by shaking down miners and robbing gold shipments?
That's the one.
Oh, yeah, I remember him. He ran that gang of thieving outlaws called the Innocents.
So it's true that you went toe-to-toe with him?
Indeed I did, son. Indeed I did.
Łowca nagród, tak się zaczął Łowca nagród. Pięknie.
I knew I needed resources if I was going to track down Roscoe Bob Bryant, and hunting Plummer looked like a good way to get rich quick. As the local
Dotrzyj do
vigilantes
kopalni.
exposed him as the leader of the bandits, and put a generous price on his head. Plummer rallied his gang to plunder one last gold mine before making their escape, and that's where I thought I'd find him. As my late father pointed out to me more than once, God made men, but Samuel Colt made them equal.
Who the hell is that?
No nieźle, chłopacy. Żeście mnie nie zatrzymali. Kopalnia ze złotem. Świetne miejsce do rozrachunków.
I knew that dynamite wasn't mine, so I decided the polite thing would be to return it. It was the biggest gold rush since Sutter's Mill in '48. Unfortunately, prospectors weren't the only ones drawn to those riches. There were thieves, killers, robbing travelers, and hijacking gold ships. Like those that ran with Plummer. Some were just regular folks I knew from town, drawn by greed and easy pickings.
Naprawdę ciężko komentować przy
Charlie
takim
Crow,
komentarzu.
blacksmith. James, who worked in the stable. Sam and Jeremiah Barber, the butcher's son. Plummer had a lot of men on his payroll. A hell of a lot. That son of a bitch pretended to protect the public with one hand while stealing them blind with the other. Of course, the rest were veterans of the Civil War. Stone-cold killers trained on the bloody fields of Shiloh and Antietam. I thought I was some kind of hero. I finally made it past and headed on to meet my destiny. But first, I had something I needed to figure out. I had a few ideas on how to get into that mine, but once I made my decision, I knew there was no turning back. So my first thought was to enter the nearest mine portal. I saw an entrance. Made sense.
I'll flank him!
It was the quickest way in, but that also made it more dangerous,
You can't
as there would undoubtedly be enemy pickets posted along the way.
No bo się przyspieszyć co ładowanie, nie? Tup.
Besides, once you enter a mine like that, it's easy to get all turned around. Some of those shafts can be as deep as hell. A single stumble or misstep can easily end in a deadly plunge to oblivion.
Let's do this!
Quick reflexes often make up for a lack of common sense. Luckily, I was never one to be easily bushwhacked. I would just need to be careful not to blow myself to kingdom come. With all that gunpowder and dynamite everywhere, the body has to know what he's shooting at. One wrong bullet could have turned that mine into a dad-blasted tomb. I freely
Masakra.
admit that my plan of attack was not just moronic, but clearly insane. It's a good thing that I abandoned that ridiculous plan before I even tried it. Instead, I spotted a ladder, a way into the mine from the opposite side.
Fajnie zawsze zrobione, nie? Że to są dwie różne ścieżki pokazane. Ale
It
jest
was a
to
long way
historia,
around, but
nie?
that approach seemed more sensible at the time. Of course, being I had a problem with heights, that scaffolding scared the bejesus out of me. Climbing down that ladder required some caution, because even though I had a younger man's reflexes, I needed to make a leap of faith. I was determined not to give up, however, as Sheriff Plummer seemed quite the despicable character. When the vigilantes discovered what the sheriff was up to, people were outraged. That 10,000 they put on his head would go a long way to helping me find old Bob. And I had made it my mission to settle that score come hell or high water. But first, I would have to make a choice. Take the elevator or climb the ladder.
Dawaj windę.
I picked the more convenient and more dangerous route.
I wtedy zginąłem, ale jednak wybrałem drugą drogę, tak?
Plummer was a mad dog killer, and the people of Nevada City deserved better.
Nevada City? Well, I thought Plummer met his maker in Bannock, Montana.
Right, well, he was the sheriff of both places at one time or another, but that's neither here nor there. The point was, taking him down would save a lot of lives, including my own.
No i kolejne miejsce, gdzie jestem zamknięty, nie? Henry Plummer.
Next week! This day is just getting worse and worse for you.
Henry Plummer was clearly unhinged, and I could see right away that this was going to take some doing.
God damn it! I need some help here! Come on, boys! Take this cocksucker out! She's almost as good as me. I really liver, son of a bitch.
Gdzie jesteś, Henry?
I'm going all medieval on your ass. Bastard!
Mamy to.
So that's how Henry Plummer died. Him and his crew were worth their weight in gold. And now, I was officially a bounty hunter.
No i pięknie. I tutaj kończymy odcinek jako łowca nagród. Do zobaczenia. Cześć.